guys, this is Sandra. Welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to learn a little bit about contour and blush. So when I talk about contour, my palette range is limited in that I only have two palettes for contouring, and I do have bronzer, but the bronzer, other than my Morphe bronzer, I probably wouldn't use it for a contour. I'd use it more of a bronzer. So now, obviously, if you guys have been watching the videos, you know that my favorite contour palette in the world right now is the Tarte Park Ave Princess. I'm in love with this, and even though I'm still using my broken one, you can see how broken it actually is. These I had to knock out because they just kept falling after a while, and this one's doing the same thing. But I love the shades in here. I love the way it smells. Have to take a smell. I love everything about it. The other palette that I have is my Kat Von D Shade and Light. And now, the two things I can say about this, it doesn't smell good at all. It actually kind of stinks a little bit. And the powders are very, very dry and they have a lot of fallout. So when you are using this, you have to be careful. I would tap your brush out. It's not eyeshadow, but I would still tap your brush before you put it on your face. The good thing about both of them is that they do blend well, and really you can't make a mistake as long as you keep blending. So I just want to speak on cream products for a little bit because I actually don't own any. I was tempted to get some, and I just don't do well with cream products. I have dry skin, so you'd think that I should have them and it should last longer on me, but in my experience, it doesn't. Actually, I guess I lied. The only cream product I do have is this Bronzed Peach by Too Faced. It's their Peaches and Cream collection. So I do have this, but I haven't actually used it for a contour yet. I've only kind of used it to bronze my face in my very natural no makeup look, and I did use my sponge and my fingers, I believe. So something like this can very well be used. Probably the way I would use it to contour is just take my beauty sponge and rub it in there and then put it on my face. I won't actually use it today because I did already put powder to set down foundation because I wanted to have a nice base to be ready to show you guys how I contour. And now you may say, why are you making another video on contouring? I see it in every single one of your videos. But this video, I aim to be a shorter video just so someone who's only looking to contour can watch this video and say, okay, yeah, got it, done. So we're going to get into it, and I'm going to use my Tarte Park Ave Princess, even though I don't have lighter shades in the palette. But if I need to show you how to quickly bake not the under eye, but the contour, I'm going to use my Peach Perfect setting powder. So let's get started. So if you've been watching my channel, you will know that I've been really enjoying a bronze look, but I'm just going to show you how to contour today. So bronzing is easy. You take a large fluffy brush like this, and you put all the bronzer on your face where the sun would hit you first. So your forehead, your nose, maybe a little bit on your chin, and the tops of your cheeks. I like concentrating it on the bridge of my nose, kind of down my cheek here, because this is where I naturally tan, but could be different for everybody, and it just kind of depends. Some people like to bronze up the entire cheek area, but when I contour, I'm really particular with my contour. So now it depends on your face shape, and when you contour, and if you're trying to follow my video, I would not do exactly as I'm doing. What you want to do first is suck in your cheeks and pretend you've got fish lips or duck lips. And wherever you see that hollow on your face, like you can kind of see the hollow on my face naturally just as I am. It's just the way my jaw is. Some people won't have that. So you just find that line, and that's where you want to start. So, and we'll start with contouring our cheeks. You don't want to go any lower because the whole point of a contour is to kind of raise your face up and make you look like you have higher cheekbones. When we contour your forehead, bronzing, you put the bronzer right smack in the middle. Contour, you're putting it kind of into your hairline, and it minimizes this, like the size of your forehead or the size of your face. So when you actually do a little bit of contouring on your cheekbones, it slims your face. The same thing with your nose. If you want to hide, like for me, I like the bridge of my nose, but right here it's a little bigger. So I will use contour, and we can even use a smaller brush to do nose, and I'll show you exactly how to go about doing it. So with my cheeks, I just wanted to show you a couple brushes. Like brushes like these are real techniques. So this one is the Expert Face Brush, and this one is an actual sculpting brush. These ones I would not use with powder, only because they are very dense. So if you dip the brush in powder, you're going to have a huge color payoff. Even if you tap off the product, you're going to put it on your face and have this really dark splotch right where you don't want it. So these I would definitely use to blend out a cream contour. And you know what? One of these days I will show you the cream contour with these tools and with my sponge, and I'll also do the cream blush for you. That would be really cool. So the trick with cream products is you do not want to have powder in between. You apply it over your moisturizer, over your primer, or your foundation, but do not set your foundation. You take your cream product and you apply it right on top of your foundation. And that is the best way, because it's pretty much you do your cream products first and then you do your powder products. That is the order. But if you do it in the wrong order, it's not going to work properly and you're going to ruin your makeup. So these ones I would use with cream. We'll do that in another video, I promise. Okay, so moving forward to cheeks and contouring, I've got a selection of brushes here. So these two first I'll show you are very similar. This is the one I'm currently loving. It's the F40 Large Angled Contour by Sigma. So it is angled, it's fairly flat, so you can really get into the cheekbone area. This one is exactly the same shape, just a little bit fluffier and a little bit bigger. So both will work well, especially if you don't necessarily want a really sharp contour. I like a sharp contour. I really like showing off my cheekbones, so I use this one. But someone who wants just a sculpting, but not like a really sharp look, might want to go for a fluffier brush. Two other options. These are smaller brushes. These can also give you either a really sharp line or a little bit more of a blown out line. Depends how you apply it. If you kind of go in circles, it will be a little bit more blended out and a little bit less sharp. If you squish the brush like this, like sometimes I do, you can give yourself a really nice sharp line and then blend up from there. So you never want to blend down, you always blend up. And then the last brush is just a really fluffy brush. This is the Multitask brush by Real Techniques. And this will just give you a really blown out look, but again, you do not want any contour down on your jaw. These previous two brushes I wanted to show you. This one's the Luxie 660 Precision Foundation, but I would use it for a contour because I like that type of brush. And this is the Morphe M530. So I think this is meant to be a contour. I just feel like the bristles get wrecked really easy, so I don't use it very often. But and this happened after I washed it with special brush shampoo too. Anyhow, so let's just get started. So generally in a palette, you're going to have like really warm tone shades and like more neutral shades and sparkly shades. The sparkle ones I'd leave for bronzer. It's up to you. You don't have to listen to my advice, but personally, I would not use a sparkly bronzer as a contour because the whole point of a contour is to play with the whole shade and light idea. So, I mean, there are people out there, again, this would be more of a cream product idea, but people out there who use concealer to highlight and shade and contour. So I've seen some crazy pictures where there's like highlight in all the highlighting areas and then contour in all the contour areas at the same time, and then they just go to town and they blend it all together at once. So I haven't tried that, and actually I wouldn't mind. I just don't have enough money to get that many different shades of concealer to actually try it. So, but anyway, so looking at this palette here, this is a sparkly color. This is definitely more warm, and this is more neutral. On a lighter skin tone, I would go for this one. And for a darker skin tone like mine, I start with this one. But I could also start with this one. Depends what kind of look you're going to go for. So I'm going to use a different brush today. I'm actually going to use my Morphe. So this is the M530. I'm going to start with the lighter shade. And you dip the brush into the product, tap it off, and literally there's hardly any product at all on my brush. So start up by your ear, and as you're putting the product on your face, suck in your cheeks. And staying higher is better, and if you do get any lower, we can bake, which I'll show you how to fix that. So I'm not going to do a dark contour. Just for the purposes of this video, I want to show you just how it's applied. So I was watching a video by Jaclyn Hill, and she said that when she used to curve it around her cheekbone, she found it made her cheek a little bit less slimmed. But if you just go straight up and down like this, that gives you the most slimming effect. So again, play with your face shape, but the places where the natural shadow is and where it isn't, and that's what you want to play with. So the other parts that you want to contour are your temples. So you kind of blend the contour up to your temple, and all this does is it darkens the areas of your forehead. For myself, I have a really broad forehead, and I don't have bangs, so I can't hide it. And I've tried having bangs, but I have a cowlick right here, so the hair goes to the side and then this side, and it looks terrible. I've even tried doing a side part, and I cannot pull it off. So I've just ended up sticking with one length hair. I've got layers, obviously, but just longer hair. So I think my brush is falling apart. And then this also warms up the face. So the trick to contouring is you don't want to just have it on your cheeks because you just won't look natural. The same with if you just had it on your nose, your face is going to look out of place. It's not going to look balanced. So another place it's really good to add it is under your lip, because if you look at your face, that's a natural like a natural dark spot anyway. So add a little bit more and it gives you a little bit more of a shadow. Okay, now the same with under your jaw. When you do this and you put it just underneath your jawline, it actually sharpens your jawline and it defines it. And it pulls the attention to more of a straight line, especially if you're trying to hide anything where you put this contour, anywhere you put this contour, just kind of detracts from that feature a little bit. So working on my nose, I'm going to take a smaller brush now. Let's pick, I can pick a really small brush. This was actually an eye brush. It's the Expert, oh no, it's a concealer brush. Shows what I know, hey? But I'm going to use this fake concealer brush. And I'm going to contour my nose. So I usually go in with the same brush I'm using for my contour, but just to show you guys a little bit. So usually just to make this line more straight, and people will do this too if they've got like a broken nose and you're trying to make your nose appear more straight. And you can bring the shadow down on the sides of your nose just a little bit, but depending where you put the product, it'll slim your nose. So you can see I've put quite a bit of darkness right here, and it instantly slims it. And I'm actually going to be really dramatic here just to show you guys. I'm not going to walk down the street like this, I promise. Okay, so I never go this dark, but you can see like I've added a really dark shade, and you can even put it a little bit underneath. And even when I turn to the side, you can't really tell. It's not that dark. But when I look this way, to me, it looks very, very dark. But my nose looks much different than it did before. I feel like it does. And you can straighten the line, and then if you put highlight on, you can just bring the highlight right down the bridge of your nose, and if it's a straight line, it kind of fools the eye into thinking that you have a straight nose, or whatever feature you're trying to detract from. So for me, it's not so much the bridge of my nose I'd like to hide, it's more of this tip right here that maybe I want it to be a little bit smaller. And like, I would never get a nose job, not because I look down on people who do, it's because I'd be petrified of any surgery. I've, like, knock on wood, I've never had a broken bone, so I'm just petrified of being put out and of any surgery at all. Okay, so something like that. So then this side, I'll contour this side so it's even with the rest of my face. And if you do end up getting a really harsh or sharp line on your cheek, just blend it out, because once you've put it down, any powder can blend out. And if you find that you're having trouble blending it, just add some loose face powder and it'll blend really nicely. And then just a tip, I've heard from other people that cream contours are really difficult to blend out. So when you are doing that, just have patience and just keep at it until you've got the look that you want, like that you're going for. And some bronzers, so I've had nothing but good luck with this Park Ave Princess, and even my Kat Von D. I have noticed with the Kat Von D, if I apply it too heavy-handed, or if I use the dark shade a little bit too much, my face will start to look muddy. So just be careful of that. Some skin tones cannot handle like the orange-red undertones that are in bronzers, and some can't handle like the really gray, muddy shades. So just be careful with that. Just have a very light hand when you're starting to contour. Okay, so that looks good. Now, I've also used bronzer and contour for eyes, and I really love it. I think it just kind of gives the eyes a little bit of extra shadow. You'll see that in a lot of my videos where I don't use eyeshadow on my eyes. I won't actually show it here, but I was watching a video earlier, and there was this one lady who was doing a cut crease, and she used it to make her lids appear bigger, and I like that idea. I did do a cut crease video, and I actually made my eyes appear smaller because of where I placed the cut crease. So because if I'm looking natural, like I have hooded eyes as well, but my lid is still very, very much, like you can still see it very well. So and it's hard for me to relax too because I'm so used to like holding my eyebrows up as well. I think everybody kind of gets into their certain like phase, but anyway. Okay, so moving on. So I'm gonna, because I wanted to make this video short, I'm gonna take my sponge and I'm just going to show one side on how I would bake. So say for instance you've made a mistake and you've brought your contour too low. You take setting powder on your sponge or a brush, you can use a brush as well, and put it underneath that line. So suck in your cheeks, and that didn't work so well because my powder came off. I'll just tap some more into the cap. So you see that white line? And then you leave the powder on, and the longer you leave the powder on, you'll notice it's almost harder to like take off. I'll just wipe mine away gently right now, but now you can see a very definitive sharp line. But ooh, that stuff tastes like candy. Well, I don't need it that sharp, so I'm just going to brush it off right away. And now it's gently blended, and then you can even blend down here a little bit. but then leave it where it's closest to your ear. So that is how I contour. And now when you look at my face, it doesn't look like I'm crazy. I don't have any dark colors, but I know that on my nose, I have a really dark contour on there. Like, I'm not even used to seeing myself like that, and my nose looks so much slimmer than I'm used to. So it's actually kind of cool, because I'm like, hey, look, I made myself a new nose. I didn't have to get nose surgery. So that is just a tip. And but if you guys have any questions, please feel free to message me. You can email me, you can leave messages or comments on any videos. And if you have problems with that, let me know. But that is it for contour. And I'm sorry I did not have any cream products today, but I will use my Too Faced Peach Bronzer cream product, and I will show you how to use a cream product as well. So do not fear, Sandra is here. Oh wow, I can't believe I just said that. So now also going in with blush. So we do not want to forget to blush, which I have done in a couple of videos. So I take a medium-sized fluffy brush, and again, this isn't applying cream product, so it's just powder right now, but I will show you how to do that with cream blush in another video. So today I'm just using this Tarte Double Duty Beauty blush in the shade Moment. It has a little bit of sparkle too, which I'm not crazy about, but we're just going to use it for the purposes of this video. And pretty much blush kind of goes hand in hand with contour, because in the natural moment, like say you've just been exercising, you come out of the gym, your cheeks are flushed. And if you're looking for a natural look, you're kind of looking for that natural flush moment. And that's what we're trying to do. So you put a little bit of the product on your brush, just dab it in the product. You tap off your brush so you don't have an excess amount on there. And you can smile. And the high points of your cheeks right here that's called the apple of your cheek. And then what you can do is you blend the blush into your contour. So if I start with this side here, and that is where you would naturally flush if you were working out or if your heart rate was accelerated. So now that I kind of know where my apples are, so I just can go in and blush them. And I don't want to say less is better, but definitely when you're first applying it, especially if you're not aware of what the color looks like, there's some blushes that are very, very potent, and you can still use them. Do not be afraid of the color. Just tap off the brush and be very, very gentle with it, and don't just splat it on your cheek like a clown blush, like one big dot right in the middle of your cheek. And blending is key as well. So you blend up into your contour, and it kind of goes right into that nice contour that I have here. And I wouldn't go any more than that. So, I mean, you can almost barely see it, but it's very natural. It has a little bit of a glow, and I'm very keen on putting product on more areas of the face than just one spot, just to balance out the face a little bit. So add a little bit to the nose and the chin. I usually stay away from the forehead, but you could add just a little bit. And I mean, you still can't really see it. It's not very noticeable. You're not going crazy with the blush. And like I said, if you do happen to put too much on, just take a little bit of translucent powder, take your big fluffy brush, and just buff it into your skin. And that'll help kind of blend the color out and kind of dissipate it a little bit. So that is it for blush. You guys have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you next time. Take care.